You have 1 month for those that are free to. I don't know why I said 1 month like that. Like, I don't know, something just bit me on the bottom or something. Anyway, right. You've got 1 month free to play players in order to get the units. At the point of recording this video, I have 15,919 units. Don't worry, I'm going to be opening something to kind of push that a little bit further on. And I do have my own target. But I want to give you people who are farming units, if you're free to play, if you're just people that spend and want to grab a little bit extra units, especially for Cyber Weekend deals, then this is the time for you to farm, and also give you an idea of how many units are theoretically able to be grabbed between now and when Cyber Weekend drops. So I've got my own theories when it comes to Cyber Weekend, as I've put on screen right now. I'm going with the fact that on the 24th of November, which is actually Black Friday, is when we're going to see the the Cyber Weekend deals drop. They normally last for 7 days, meaning that they'll finish on the 1st of December. Is there going to be any kind of extra time for that? We just don't know. I will do a very last minute crash course in 1 week from the Black Friday deals to the 1st of July, 1st of December. God, I keep saying July on the mind. How many extra units you can get in a week. But the main thing is what I want to do and how I've been doing this series is prepping you in trying to get to there. A lot of people will just say, no, I don't want to do arena. That's fine. You don't have to get any units by that means. And unfortunately, arena is a good place in order to grab a lot of units, unless you want to invest in farming in some of the areas that I've covered over the years, months, and do it that way without having to touch arena. That is just down to you whether you want to do that, but you should have been doing this at the start of the year. In any case, for those that are interested, you have 35 days at the point of getting this video released and 5 total weeks. You do have a technical cycle at the moment in arena that kind of puts you into having at least 11 cycles of arena. I'm going to refer to as 10, mainly because it just depends on when you're going to see this video, and by the time the weekend's up, it probably means that well, we've got 10 cycles, so it kind of makes a bit more sense to kind of release this video as is. So, with all that being said, it's going to be definitely a very interesting time as to how many units you are able to get. So let's have a look at it. So, we have got 1 month of new events and stuff. Let's face it, with nearly 7 days to go, there's not much extra scratch of units available. I do think, and I have predicted, there could be a potential event we may be able to see. Will it be a fabulous crystals based event? Will we see Platinum Pool come back in some sort of capacity? I hope so, because there's some extra units I do want to pick up, and I'm hoping that at least we see something like the Unbreakable Arena return back, or something else where we get an opportunity to get more units. But it's not guaranteed, and that's something to kind of like do bear in mind. So Command may give something for free in November, or they may not, which let's go with they may not. But back to the point of the grind. So with that 1 month, by the way, today you should have got 40 units as part of the calendar. So you should be already, and going into next month, up to 140 units because you do the full month of November. Then you could go and auto fight and do normal, heroic, master, uncollected, which I need to change the names of those, but I think you get the idea. There's 150 units available, doing all those full difficulties gives you 600 units. That's not too bad. There's also solo events. Solo events actually do make for a good chunk of the units you can grab. There are 38 solo events within 35 days based on 22 hours running of a 22-hour solo event. That's what they are. On those times, you can get 25 units apiece, and that does equate to 950 units. It does mean, however, you will have to do arena wins, which, look, isn't the end of the world. I would say just give it a crack. I end up forcing myself to do event quest completion. Funnily enough, and a quick tip, if you want to maximize your take home when it comes to event quest completion, start off the day by doing a grind in the apothecary. Once doing a grind in the apothecary, you do actually get a nice chunk of event quest points, and then from there, it's either a case of if you've done most stuff, you've done it. If not, go and grind into, I don't know, the most difficult one you can do right at the very end, maybe a throne breaker once through, or something that's not going to cost you any kind of unit, a path that you've cheesed in the latter points, just so you get the maximization of points, and that's what I recommend. Or you could do like what I've done, and it's something I do recommend to a lot of people, especially those that are non-spending and have to manage their stash, and that is to, whenever you get a 4-hour crystal, pack it, pocket it, keep it for later on, hoard it. Why? you get energy refills in these things, and that can be really helpful in order to do these particular event quest completions, especially if you're like myself, you're busy during the day, you've got work on, you at lunchtime. So I tell you what I do is, like, I'll go, and after I finish recording stuff, I will put it onto auto fight. I'll then go and brush my teeth. I'll then come back, and then I'll just put it on a new path, auto fight through, go and take a shower, come out, put it on another path for auto fighting, go and do whatever I need to, moisturize my face using my geology projects, and just get myself ready for bed. And then I'll go and do some arena and some AQ or some AW before even hitting the hay, so to speak. So that's really kind of like, that's my evening routine with MCOC. That's fine. It is what it is. We all got our routines. I'm sure that a lot of you have their own routines. I remember back in the day having a conversation with Dan, Frontline MCC Dan, who said that there was at times he would put a pillow up in between him and his wife, whilst he would kind of like hide under the covers playing, making sure the light of the device didn't kind of like illuminate. And that's kind of like, look, we all have our ways to grab the units we can without having to spend any money. We all do what we need to do at the end of the day, and I'm sure you do that. But yes, of course, back to seriousness with this one, and it's all about how many units. If you are a spender, you can of course pick up 375 units, 75 units per week for 5 weeks based on the Summoner Sigil. And of course, if you've got the Sigil yourself, you've already got Arena Express mode. Jealous. But some people do, some people don't. Obviously, there's some people that come to me and say, like, well, Rich, I'm technically non-spending. I buy the Summoner Sigil. That's not non-spending. That's definitely not non-spending. I don't spend, full stop. Haven't spent since 2021. And look, this is cool. It's a cool new challenge, and this is all about for 6 months of the year I don't do much in the way of arena farming, and that's just because I just focus on other stuff that I need to be doing. But I'm sure I'm gonna have to do that in the future, especially with Necropolis. I'm gonna have to do that. But look, to the point. Look, if you're free to play, you can get 1,990 units just by doing some of the things here. It does mean you have to do arena wins, but it is what it is. 2,365 units for those that don't really want to touch arena and you're spending in the game. You could get an extra 150 units from an event, maybe fab crystals. We don't know. We can predict the future. That will be fantastic. Okay. Arena wise, the farming side of things is that it looks fairly low. If you are able to do the 10 arena rotations of the Summoner Trials, at least to milestone 12, 1,580 units. If you're willing to do a bit more on the grind, which I do try and do whenever I can, this kind of puts me in where I'm likely to be at, in the 3,230 units. But if you're willing to do a bit more of a bigger grind, you get 4,880 units just by milestones alone. Different stage when it comes to popping open arena crystals and what you get from them. I've got to change the spreadsheet. That is on my job list for the next few months. But the final totals. I'm also putting my targets there because things change. I mean, you actually need to pop something open in this video as well. So if you're a low-end grind type person and you're looking to get some extra units, and look, you may be saying, well, I'm not even going to be close to a deal. Look, even at like 5,000 units, you can get something. So if you're close to something, go for it. Save up for it. You never know what you're going to get. There could be something for 1,000 units. So you may be able to get that. But if you are willing to do a bit of a grind, with a low-end arena grind, 4,420 units. You may get more from arena crystals. You may get less. It just depends. It depends. I've had RNG good days. I've had RNG bad days. If you're willing to do a higher end of grind, there's still 8k units possibly going to be there for you. That's still quite a bit. If you have 2,000 units at the moment and you're willing to get, rowdy and get farming and get grinding, your 2,000 could be turned into 10,000 units. It's surprising what happens with time. I'm planning to do at least, 5,000 units in a very short space of time. Because the thing is, anything is possible. My particular plan starts off like this, which you can see on screen now. Like, I have to hit, by the 3rd of November, 17,000 units. Is that going to be possible? There's a good chance of it, especially because I haven't done all of my my Act 8.3. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm up to 8.3.4. And look, that's an extra 90, 180, 270 units right off the bat right there. You know, that puts me into a good starting stead. And then it's a case of just farming and luck, which can be possible. As we said, there's plenty of units available. I'm going to be going as hard as possible between now and the end of November to get the units I require, but also go over. Because as you know, we've potentially got the banquet event coming back. And what do you need for that? Units, of course. So that's going to be something I think a lot of players are going to be interested in doing. Maybe it's a case I won't buy everything, but at least spend 18,000 units and have that extra 3,000 units prepared. But now's the time, I think, between now and the end of the year, when the banquet event drops, to be prepared as possible. So just quickly, just before I end this video, I do want to open up all of my arena crystals just to see where I'm at to. I do normally do just the standard arena crystals because the uncollected ones, I just don't get that much luck, especially for such a low volume. So I'm just going to quickly just grab a load of them. I will be doing RNG wars for this, but I'm deciding not to. So this is, it's not looking good so far, if I'm being honest. 60 units so far. Come on, I've got more to do. We've got time, but I want to do this in the video. Just to kind of go like where we're up to. So as I said, it's mounting. It's mounting with the amount of units. Not too bad so far. That's just over halfway. And if I can get up to, is it 500? If I get 500 units, that'd be amazing. Yeah, at least like I've gone up to now 16,294. That's about 400 units, just around that little bit. So what I need to do now is get the further 700 units that I require. As I said, 270 still left. So that's going to push me up even closer. And it's likely that I will hit my target of 17,000 units by the 3rd of November. See, just as simple as that, you know. Bit of effort and you'll get there. So yeah, that's been the video. Good luck to everybody in the grind and the farming. We'll have an update video close to preparation for the banquet event, which will probably be at the start of December. Thanks for watching this video. Check out some other content. Have a lovely day, whatever you're doing. Good luck in the farming and the grind, my fellow spenders and non-spenders. Obviously free to play, you know. Keep on with that farming.